My name is Risa Nagin. I'm a practicing artist based here in Pittsburgh. I am a member of the Fiberart Guild, longstanding. Fiberart International evolved out of the genesis of the guild itself, which started, I think, in 1960. And the two pressing factors were feminism and the limitations women were experiencing in their lives at the time. And the second, which is also extremely important, is the desire to move the whole perception of craft into being part of the fine arts in the United States and actually internationally.
My name is Chieko Murasugi. I've been a visual artist for over 30 years, mostly a painter, but recently I've made a foray into fiber arts, and I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I was an abstract painter for many years, and it was only by a chance encounter that I came back into fiber. Just a few years ago, I met a woman who saw my paintings and said, "I love your art. I want to sew them. I want to make sewing versions of your art." And she translated my paintings into 2 silk wall hangings. And they were quite beautiful. But around that time, I thought, there has to be more to this than just taking my paintings and making them into wall hangings. And I was cleaning my brushes with rags, which I do, but the rags were cut up white sheets. And, I was using, fairly what you call pretty colors. And I would look at these little rags my brush rags, and they were so beautiful. Each one looked like an Impressionist painting. And I thought, wow, there must be something I could do with these rags. And then somehow I sort of hit upon the idea of making a kimono with these rags. And I was also obsessed with the hexagon, because the hexagon has 2 meanings for me. One is that in the Asian culture, it's the symbol of longevity. And the other is that, my parents were in Tokyo during the Second World War, and they were experiencing the Allied bombings. And the most devastating bombs were the napalm bombs that were dropped on March 9th, 1945. And the napalm bombs were housed in these hexagonal cylinders. So I thought, oh my gosh, not only is it a symbol of longevity, but it's also, a killer object. So with that in mind, I decided to cut up these paint rags into hexagon shapes and then sew these hexagon shapes together into a kimono.
My name is Akutsue Elsie Chiwa. I was born in a small town in Zimbabwe called Mashingo, and I moved to the US in 2021. My work is about the human body without the human body. That's why I use fiber, I use hair, I use beads, I use shells, I use things that have touched the body, things that witness history, that witness the body, that experience with the body. In places of war and famine, you see clothes where bones are, right? It's memories. A person lived, existed. And I make because I'm a storyteller. I come from a generation of storytellers. And this was the first time that I introduced something that was a form, a pair of legs. So it's synthetic hair fiber and woven in to like a fabric, and then kind of molded onto a soft body. The body is distending to the back, melting into the foreground. The piece is called Muranda Washe. The word Muranda has 2 meanings, servant or slave of God, and it speaks to othering. What does it mean? And so the pattern on the little legs are the pattern that you see on a lot of bags that a lot of immigrants use when they're moving, crossing, or moving their lives. In Zimbabwe, we call them Changan bags. In South Africa, they call them Ama Zimbabwe bags. And in every single instance, it references the immigration of one people from one country to another or from one space to another and the strife of that journey.